Hey guys, welcome back to K&S Get Out. We got the birds, and I did make some progress on that brooder. In fact, it's like 90% of the way done. So we're gonna go check that out, but Mr. Spruce, I think there was a lot of graduations in the last week or so, and Spruce is no exception. He's now Mr. Big Stuff Spruce. So we'll show you what we're talking about. There she comes with your bottle. She's coming. She's coming, little guy. Mom!
Let's go to your room. Come on.
Poor little guy is starving.
No, he acts like he's never had a drop to eat.
Okay, how old are we now?
2 months old. Technically like 2 months and 2 days, but...
So like week-wise, how many weeks old are we?
8 weeks.
8? Almost 9?
Yeah.
So he does still get his bottles because if he were raised, what is it, dam raised? Dam raised. Dam or dom raised, aka by his mother goat, he would still be feeding off of her most likely. And so there are minerals and proteins and things and stuff that are in this that are not in your regular goat feed.
You're gonna fall.
So we still do give him at least 1 bottle a day. But we've now cut back. He's eating pellets. He grazes like a champ. And he
eats hay like a champ.
Eats a lot of hay. He gets special treatment. What's
Luigi.
Weech.
If he's eating your shirt, you should have known that's who it was.
I don't know, Mario will do it sometimes. What you think, big guy? Gross. Yucky.
Watch out, he'll probably sneeze
Watch out
it out.
behind you.
Hi, Mario. That's all. That's it.
So as far as Mr. Big Stuff is concerned, what we mean by that is, what was it, last 2 nights?
Last 2 nights.
The last 2 nights, the big guy has stayed out with the big goats. We've been spending most all of our daytime with him out and about with the other goats, probably for a little over a week now.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's either boss man or he knows when to run to Herc and tattle.
100% true.
Yeah. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Hi, buddy. You need some attention?
Now, if you notice, you feel that? A little bit of crusty on the neck.
Yes.
If you pet Mr. Ouija, a little crusty on the neck. Not the girls. The girls are...
Hey, look. He's already waiting.
He says, that bottle was only a partial bottle, Mom. Where's the rest of my food?
Yep, that's what he's looking for.
But the girls, man, the wasps are coming out. It's getting hotter out. Closer to summer. The girls don't have the crusty necks. They don't mess with Hercules. They will knock little Spruce out of the way if he gets a little too close to him. But they don't have the crusty necks like these boys do, because that guy is making sure the little one is safe. What do you think, Mr. Big Stuff? What you think? Did Herc get your neck a little bit too? How about you?
I'm pretty sure Spruce's neck just stays crusty all the time.
How about that? Yeah, but we were in bed last night pretty late, and we're checking on them, and randomly the Spruce watch camera, that's the one we have in his bedroom pen, as we call it. It's sad. I'm not gonna tell you the names we call everything. But the camera went off, and we pulled it up to see what the footage was, and it was this big guy going in there, he kind of puffed up like, what's going on?
Yeah,
right
like
behind him, little Spruce bouncing in there and kind of looks around. Herc turns around and takes off. He turns around and takes off and goes down into Goatville with Herc to clear whatever Herc heard or smelled. All the while, these yahoos up on the Herc hut waiting for the all clear. So we now have a goat dog, and he's also a guard goat, right? Yeah, I keep everyone safe.
Tough guy right there.
I tattle to Hercules when I need to, and we assess the situation and take care of it ourselves.
He still wants to be cuddled. He's getting heavy.
Here.
He's like, no, hold me. I want to be high up. He's so spoiled. I carried him yesterday. So I was down here cleaning out the pen and the shelter and all that. And he got out because he's a ninja. And he went all the way up to go see Kyle, who was working on the, what's it called?
The brooder.
And he wouldn't come back with me. I had to pick him up and carry him. And he's not light. He's getting big. Aren't you, buddy? He's getting big.
Yeah, I don't think we see it as well because we see him every day. And we see him in reference to
all the others.
All these guys. But, you know, we go back and look at some of our old videos. Oh, how did I miss that one?
I'll be honest, I was so busy watching Spruce and trying to keep him from jumping on me that I didn't even see it.
Well, it's what, early June right now, I think.
Yeah.
The 5th. And so we're coming up on summer. In fact, the forecast shows next week we're going to be in the 90s at least 5 days out of the week, and one of them's going to be pushing like 97, 98. So
that's hot.
That is hot. The flies are getting worse. We're trying to assess those. We're trying all your tricks. Shannon's got Irish Spring all over the land. I feel like I should shower or bathe at some point in time. It smells nice.
I mean, we're trying everything. I've cleaned out the shelter.
Hey, show the effectiveness of your soap bars hanging in there.
You guys see all those flies?
All those flies.
So this thing is pretty full. We need to replace it. But I have Irish Spring. I cleaned. I sprayed stuff. Trying to do everything.
Yeah. Well, it's bad. They're bad down here. They're bad up at the opening end of the camper, but it kind of seems like because we don't have all these stinky guys up there, a lot of these things are way more effective, which is good. But also we bought that kind of like horse, goat, cattle, sheep spray that has permethrin. It's 0.5%. So you can actually spray the animals. I usually do it when they're eating, kind of rub it in a little bit. It's supposed to last a couple weeks. Long story short, it really wasn't doing anything.
No.
The effectiveness may have been better than I realized because this is our first summer out here full-time with the animals. So we got a little more concentrated stuff and mixed it a little more potent, but we're not going to spray it directly on the goats. This is more for spraying on their shelter. Shannon sprayed down just about everything yesterday. I will say, for how warm it is, we're a little bit later in the day. We had some errands to run this morning. It's working fairly well.
I mean,
I also think we have a wasp nest inside this stupid spool.
Luigi thinks you're trying to hit him.
Luigi, I'm just trying to get that wasp. Dude. That's the 4th time he's come down here, and I don't know why I can't get him. But overall, guys, the comical piece of it is we just got Spruce to where he doesn't require our attention as much. And early in the morning, all the guys and goats and girls can get up. They can go down into Goatville and he goes with them. They graze, do their thing, and it doesn't force Shannon and I to be out here super early, giving them that bottle right away. But also, what'd you do yesterday? It's going to be a huge difference today that I'm excited about.
So last night, while Kyle was working on the brooder, I came down to take care of the...
I gotta do the poo stance. It's pretty bad.
Oh, man.
I stepped in a bomb.
I came down to feed the animals by myself, and Mario is a bully. Everybody knows that. He's a bully when it comes to food. And
don't make him bad. Mario's a little aggressive and always very hungry.
He's always very hungry. He's very big. So
he's not a bully.
What he'll do is he'll go from feeder to feeder and push everybody out. So instead of letting him do that while I was down here by myself and I wanted to make sure everybody got fed, I put him in Spruce's room. And I fed him first. I gave him his food first so he would be calm. And it actually went pretty well. Mama went back and forth between a feeder with Luigi and Blue, but for the most part it went well. So we're going to try that again. The only problem I ran into was Spruce still eats super slow. And I mean super slow. Which granted, he's so much smaller, I get it. But once Luigi was done eating, he was wanting to take Spruce's food. So that was a little bit of a trick, but we're going to try it today and see how it goes.
It's like a new thing you have to do every single time. You got to make sure there's no spiders or weird bugs up in the handle of this thing.
Oh!
I've had some of the creepiest looking, feeling bugs come out of there. In fact, I felt like a sticky something one day, and it was actually their legs, like,
ew,
on my finger.
I
just had a weird looking spider crawl across my hand. I was like, huh, I forgot to check.
I don't look at that, so I'm going to have to pay more attention to that next time. Whoops.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pay more attention. That's what I'm going to do.
That's probably a good idea.
I really thought you were going to spray me. I cleaned his pool out yesterday. I even brought a little scrub brush down here and washed it down.
You got a little impatient with filling it, didn't you?
Well, I just didn't think it needed to be 100% filled. Hey, what's going on? Can we not do that? Do you need to show everybody that you're the star of Shady Acres? Is that what's going on here? You don't have to crawl on me. Spruce, what do you think about sleeping out with the big goats? Do you like it?
It's pretty good, but I was kind of thinking we could stuff the rest of the goats in my old crate and I could just have it to myself with my best friend Hercules.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
Well,
I saw it on HGTV one time. That's home goat television.
It's not a very big space to put all 4 of the big goats in.
I don't really care about them, so just, cut off a leg, do whatever you gotta do. Don't care. Man,
he's brutal, Mario.
Hercules, little ruthless guy, aren't you?
He's brutal.
So as you guys could imagine, I've done some very light / medium, a little bit on the heavy side. I've done a lot of reading on turkeys and peeps and guineas and what to do. And I don't know, I was kind of freaking out a little bit the day that I got them because I was just like, oh, okay, what have we got? I don't know. But long story short, they are in a good place and they will need to be there for like 6. This guy is on, Shannon probably just cut out the part that you guys didn't see, but we can see it in Hercules. Anytime we make a change with where little guy's sleeping or where he's hanging out during the day, like Herc adapts and he very much follows Shannon's and my, your tail was tickling me, I thought it was a tick. He very much follows our lead and he takes protecting Spruce very seriously. Even though Spruce is likely to be our biggest goat when he's full grown. But man, it's just, I don't know. I guess I would call it, I think it's time now that we got turkeys and guineas and goats and dogs. It's just farm life.
I think it is. I really think it is.
And we don't intervene, we will verbally, but I can't punish, there's some kind of relation or communication, something going on between them, something that leads Hercules to believe that one of them is going to harm Spruce.
Yeah.
Whether or not they do, I know I've seen them throw him around. I've seen them for no reason. I've seen them just kind of smack him a little bit, but
I think they're just kind of establishing that pecking order because
they are.
Spruce thinks he's big stuff.
Well, he is big stuff. So it's been a learning experience, guys, and this is something if you've thought about getting goats or you've thought about having multiple animals in a pen or whatever, you kind of got to deal with it. And for animal lovers like us, it's kind of hard to watch sometimes, but we're getting pretty good at understanding what's going on, why they're doing it, and he gets them trained. He don't mess around.
He really does.
Here's the bottom line, guys, too. And we can't show you all the footage that we have of it, but all night long, all during the day if we're out grazing, Hercules protects this herd with everything he's got.
He really does.
It's not all internal battles. It just happens to be while we're in here and we're filming and they're hungry. But he's doing a great job. And first and foremost, every time we come down in the morning, all the goats are safe and healthy, and he gives us a big hug.
Well, and a lot of times we see them before we even get out here. We see them up here on the Herc hut and the pallet perch, cuddling, hanging out together.
Now, he is, however, planning to bury one of them if they get out of line.
I actually kind of think so.
I mean, this hole, guys, I know.
It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
I know goats can break their legs. We've talked about this. But these goats know right where it is because that's where he naps. In fact, he did this when he was a pup out at Walker Farm Fam.
He did it at your dad's too.
Did it at Dad's pups are doing it. They dig out this hole where it's cooler down below the surface, and this guy will stick his hindquarters down in that hole and just lay up out of it like it's lazy boy recliner. It's pretty stinking cute, but yeah, it's eventually if it makes it across the gate and we have to jump over a moat to get in here, we're gonna have to figure something out, and I do think it is headed that way eventually.
Sorry, a wasp just tapped itself on me.
That's that same one that's flying in and out over here.
It literally tapped itself on me.
I feel like he's carrying something, but I don't know what it is and why he's moving slow. There's another one. It's time for the wasps to come back. The scouts came out weeks ago when it started to warm up. Then they went back and gave their reports, and now the colonies are going to start moving in. So goosebumps in 90-degree weather, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. The flies are getting him. I think we have some hungry goats.
I think so too. So I would love if Mario got to the point where he would just walk into that room by himself and know he gets all of his food. And what do you think, dude? Yeah, Herc's a jerk. You can be too.
You're kind of a jerk sometimes,
Have you watched yourself eat where you just slam into these girls and you take all their food? What? No.
Him and Mama, they are so funny.
Yeah, they are. And I wouldn't mess with them as a pair. Okay. So then after we're done, can I take you up and show you my 90% finished brooder?
Yes.
Kind of proud of it.
I'm excited about it.
It's only going to be, worthwhile for the next couple months, but that's a couple months. I don't have to worry about something.
It's reusable though.
Yeah, and I sleep easier now that I've got it in the state that it's in, and I can get more guineas and turkeys.
Hence why it's reusable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, bud. You. In there. That didn't work. Sometimes you gotta try your superpower.
I mean, you might as well. Just like last night, you're gonna get your food first, okay? I know, but you're gonna get fed first. Yeah. You're gonna get fed first. Oh, looky there.
Okay, this is for little guy. This is for the girls and Ouija. Wait, baby. Okay, that's brave.
I know.
That's real brave. That's real
Come on, guys.
Hey, let me get Ouija. Ouija.
I'll get him.
Perk's like, I couldn't care less about this.
Come on, over here. Come on. There you go. Spruce, you come over here. Come on. You eat this. Right here. Honey, you don't need to eat from the bowl or the scoop. There you go. Mario seems happy. Sprucers is happy.
And it's a good thing we put this guy on his leash and collar.
I had to drop it.
Like, hey, you know what? Mario's in jail. I love it.
Yep. Blue, you're so funny how you stand. But I get it.
How are they on hay?
Oh, they need more hay. Everybody seems pretty happy though.
So about 3 hours later, little guy should be done with his.
Right, he's the slowest eater.
Well, look at his mouth's only this big.
I know, I understand.
It says, and I know my Hercules will protect me if someone tries to come over here.
That's true. I mean, I feel like this is much more peaceful until Luigi finishes, of course.
Well, Mama, she can hold her own. So it's looking like maybe we still need a little isolation pen for this guy.
Yep. He doesn't eat fast enough.
Well, we're learning. It's trial and error.
Did you get enough to eat, Sprucers?
I mean, he did have half a bottle. And he's pretty good at eating hay.
Hi, pretty girl. Hi. Aren't you a curious Pete today? She's like, I want to eat Spruce's food.
Good boy, Hercules. Good boy.
You just can't leave very much food in there. They're going to eat it. You got to learn to eat faster.
So I think this is all a part of the game, or just the process in general. You gotta feel them out, see who's working together. Ultimately, and Shannon and I talk about this quite frequently, if I could get more pins spun off of this main pin,
Yeah.
then it allows us to kind of read their personalities. Mario being the Billy the Goat that he is. I don't know why Blue didn't go into heat unless a baby had been pulled off of her, but they can all be at different stages in life. They can all have different personalities. And sometimes it makes it a little bit easier on us, but it also makes it easier on them to just be able to focus on their food and nobody worry about if anybody else is going to come eat my food.
Right.
And, dig holes to who knows where forever. But it's going to be all the way across the gate.
Herc, you got to stop digging that way, man. We're gonna trip as soon as we step in.
You know what's really sad though? I dug these holes for these posts. This guy is way more effective at digging than I am. And he doesn't stop.
No, he doesn't. And he's been pulling some big rocks out of there.
Yeah, but I think the high again, I think we're getting in the upper 80s today, which should be that way for the next however many days, and then we go into the 90s. So it's gonna be hot. You know, our good old weather app calls for a small percentage of rain every other day. It ain't doing anything. It's just gonna be hot.
Yeah. Well, and we did refresh Hercules' pool. He has a nice place to go cool off when he needs to.
Well, and that's why his paws are extra muddy right now, because he goes and gets in the pool, then he comes over here and starts digging, so he's covered in that cool, muddy water.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing. He knows how to stay cool. Is that what you were going for, buddy? You got dirt on your nose, big guy. Not big.
She's so sweet. She's been seeking out attention.
She has. Well, and I forget if we showed you guys this or not, but when we have them out and about grazing and we coerce them back into the pen, I actually keep Blue out with me. She's a little bit smarter than the others, kind of. And so she gets to go over and eat just some of the calf creep, not the double-out goat. That's the higher percentage of protein. But she just gets to kind of nibble on that calf creep while I'm getting everybody's food ready. And kind of been one of our bonding exercises, and it seems to be fairly effective. She's let us get a little closer. We can move our hands a little more, you know, right in front of her face. But most importantly, her neck is undoubtedly thickening up just a little bit. When we first got her, she was just skin and bone.
Her neck and her body.
Yeah. And there is a, you know, if they've kitted out, like you can see on Mama right here, there's that void up here right below their spinal cord. And both of them have it. But that's not something that will come back with proper diet. But as far as her neck and just her sides in general, she feels like a lot more healthy of a goat. Mm-hmm. A little spoiled life now after maybe a few years of working life. What do you think, Blue?
Getting some special treatment now. All right, should we get the big boys out? Spruce is like...
Spruce is like, rub it in. No.
This is where I want to lay.
He loves that sunshine.
He does.
It's good for my horn growth. And I gotta keep my ears white.
Sprucers, you're so cute, dude.
It's like, I don't know why he likes it, but he's warm. It feels like I'm cuddling. Oh, by the way, if you guys live in like our type of environment, which is pretty forested, if you will, and you got a lot of trees that are, oh, I don't know, brown, be careful getting yourself a brown goat. In fact, I thought about that when I was getting the turkeys, and after I was doing my research, I was like, you know what? I'm a little thankful that those turkeys are going to be white, because this guy is hard to find.
Oh, he blends in with everything.
He doesn't go far, but even trying to pull him up on the cameras and see where he's at, like you can find all this white and light tan and, you know, black and white, like that ain't no problem. This guy, he's the color of dirt and wood.
He's a ninja.
Yeah. So we just need these ears to stay big and nice and white. And then we always have little indicators as to where you are. Or he's going to be a 90-pound goat. There's no telling.
What are you doing, Mario?
All right, buddy.
I think they're ready to come out.
I'm going to let them out, okay?
You look a little out of breath or something.
It's hot. It's actually hard to fathom, like, the numbers that you've got to be brooding these guys at and keeping them at. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm cooking them. I'm not doing that. But it is hot out. Okay. Think they're all still alive?
I think so.
You can't say
I have
that.
complete faith in you.
I do too. I nerded out pretty hard on this yesterday.
Check it out. It has a door. It has walls. And we have some happy little birds in here.
Look at the turkey all puffed up.
Puffing out.
What you doing? Yeah. Those are some new noises from you Turks.
They are getting so big so fast.
Yeah, in fact, I think the turkeys are getting so big so fast that we don't even see how big the Keats are getting.
That's probably true.
To see how he's flapping his wings.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a while before this height of wall is a problem. In fact, they will pretty much need all of their feathers, which is also the same time that they'll be ready to go be outside basically. So I haven't come up with a roof solution yet, and primarily because they're not going to need it for a while. These are easily about 4 feet high, the walls of this, and they're not going to be able to scale it. So for right now, I've left all my 2x4s long, and I ran this 2x2 across so that I could hang their light. Now I had a little bit of wire that was allowing me to drop that and raise that, but we got one of our thermometers out last night, sat it on that little 2x4, because before I left them, I wanted to make sure I could get it up to temp. And basically with the light all the way up here, so I may have to adjust it a bit, the middle of the coop in that perfect beach ball size circle is anywhere between about 94.5 and 97.5 degrees. And of course, I was watching those birds all day yesterday, and they've not shown any indication that they're either too hot or too cold. They have enough room to get out of the direct heat if they need to. Then they'll cuddle up in the corner and they're like, oh yeah, we got this heat lamp, and they'll go back to the middle. So we moved the thermometer over here a bit, and I think it's reading just about 80 degrees. So in other words, we got about a 15 to 20 degree variation from wall to center to wall. I know.
They're still so skittish.
But I think some people mentioned that the poultry wire was, and I kind of thought about this as I was putting it up, but snakes could get in there. Well, these guys will be in this basically until they're ready to not be. So,
and here in the shed too.
In the shed, and as you guys know, this is the best built shed on the globe. So I don't think any snakes can get in here, but they still could. You have to play that way. So I've got it all sealed off now. I stapled all of this. I reinforced it up here with the 2x4s, and then I put these little 2x2s down here to kind of close and seal this. It's very rudimentary, but this is me learning, and I didn't have to go pay money. This was all recycled stuff from shed build and whatnot.
Other than the hardware cloth.
Other than the hardware cloth. You had some, I had to go pick up a little bit more. But yeah, these guys I don't have these stapled down yet. I wanted to see if they would actually get up onto them, or screwed down yet rather. But I might notch those out, and then we could put a stick across them, like a natural stick. And as they get to where they can kind of flutter and get up a little bit, maybe they want to roost on that, even if it's only 2, 3, 4 inches off the ground. But I can't get them all the way up here, or else I risk an escape. So as of right now, I am very pleased with this, and I'm not going to admit how much time went into it. The only thing I still have to do, this is my makeshift latch right now. Some might call it a clamp, because it is. But the door opens, we can get in there, do what we need to do. I do have some screws I need to cut off.
He will trim off all of the long screws. We're not going to take any risks of any animals getting hurt.
Yes.
He will grind them off.
And ironically, actually, if the birds find screws, they think it's a bug, and they all go up to it and just kind of look at it, touch it with their beak, and they're like, that's nothing yummy, and they just move on. But I have filed most of them down. The door was the very last thing I did last night, and it's not bad. So I'm going to go pull.
I think you did a great job on the door.
Thank you. I built this big. If you go buy a brooder from the store, or if I borrowed one from my dad or whoever, whatever, they're going to be very small, and they're typically made for chicks. And with these birds, turkeys like to have a little more square footage, and the keats definitely do. Now this is way overkill for 5 birds. However, as you guys know, I'm trying to get more guineas. I went back to Atwood's yesterday. They did not have any more, and I do have a contact tomorrow. I'm supposed to call and see if they get a delivery of them. And so I'd like to add a little bit more, because I've done all my research and I'm ready. I might even get 10 more turkeys.
Every time I turn around, Kyle's looking at me with this big grin on his face, and I'm like, what? And he's like, did you know guineas, blah, 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 blah. I can't repeat it all to you. I listen to it, I hear it, but I don't retain it like he does. So he's really enjoying learning about these birds.
I really am. And I kind of feel like it's the unsung hero for tick fighters. And ironically, the turkeys are just about as effective, only they don't cover as much territory vertically. And so I'm hoping that my turkeys can kind of be my ground clearance, and then the keats will basically do both functions. But yeah, turkeys are a little bit easier to keep around than guineas, but we're going to find out. Oh, did I tell you I saw them? There's a lot of flies in here, and I don't know how they do it. Maybe because they're like light as feathers, but they'll walk right up to a fly, and the fly will hold still, mostly the turkeys, and then they just go boop, and they get them.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, because I just like to imagine that they're ticks.
Their feathers are really coming in too.
Yeah. Apparently the guineas, you know, they're great for all the different types of insects. Yes, the wasps that we talked about, they will target wasps as well. Pretty much anything. And snakes. Again, we want to keep around the snakes that are going to help us, but where those snakes won't, the guineas will do it as well.
That's awesome.
So, you know, if it happens to take out a snake that would have eaten mice and rats, it's okay because these guys will do it. I'm looking forward to it. If we can keep these things around, get them trained up, it's going to be a lot of work. But I feel like we can give them enough attention and be consistent enough that these are going to be our little insect cleaners.
That's awesome.
Amongst much more. I'm now even looking at specific breeds of guineas and turkeys that I want. Get a little color coordination.
Of course you are.
Yeah. There's some really creepy looking guineas out there. It's like a vulture guinea, more or less. And he's got a weird, like, long, he's kind of gross looking, but he's got a weird plumage. Like, it's crazy.
You need to find out what the guineas were that we saw on the road because they were pretty.
It's these guys.
That's these?
Yeah, not the white ones. But these are going to be gray spotted, basically.
Okay.
And I forget, like, I think they call them pearl because the spots kind of look like pearls. But basically, you see that dark stripe right down the middle of their head.
Yes.
And then it has the two dark stripes on either side of their head with the brown in between. Mm-hmm. Those are like the epitome of those gray ones that we saw that were crossing the road, which is ironically a very common thing guineas will do.
Well, I thought that they were super cute, so
yeah,
we'll see how they turn out.
Yeah. They may annoy us so much that the cuteness will fade away, but...
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, we've kept Mario and Luigi around this long.
They're still cute.
I love them.
Hey, great job on this brooder. I'm super proud of you. You did awesome.
I still got some things I want to do, and, you know, if I may at least just put a hardware cloth roof on it so that as these guys do get older and they can kind of bounce and fly a little bit, it'll keep them in. And then I may utilize it if I could build a little hardier roof that would go on top of that. I could take this out when it's finally time and I can build them a little run and we can basically use this to get them in and out. And so it's adaptable. And I have
awesome.
I've tried to build it in a way that if I want to put some wheels on it, like pneumatic tires, get it jacked up a little bit so that it can handle our terrain.
Yeah, our terrain is pretty tough.
Put a little mower engine on it.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, they call them a tractor for a reason. All right, well, everything so far so good. They're pretty easy once you get their shelter built. It's just a matter now of monitoring temperature. So for about a week or two, we'll maintain that 95 degrees in the middle. What I'm probably gonna do is put like a vertical piece of wood up here and have different heights of hooks. And that way, if I need to pull this up further, I can, or get a weaker bulb. I think that's a pretty hot bulb.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy about it though. They seem to be happy about it too.
Great work.
Thank you.
I can't wait to try to hold one of the turkeys.
It can be done, but there was one of you that commented that she recently got turkeys and she really babied one of them and held them and everything, and then when she tried to train him to go out, that turkey just kept coming back and wouldn't go out. So
just want to be held.
These are very functional turkeys and Keats, so let's not...
I won't hold them very much.
At least out of round one, let me not spoil them quite as much in that way and get them to be functioning helpers on the farm.
I just don't want them to be scared of me.
I don't care. As long as they're eating ticks and wasps, I couldn't care if they hated me. But you know they're not going to.
Okay.
We're going to spoil them.
All right.
Well, Nala did get to meet the birds yesterday. I didn't realize she was out here going to the bathroom while I was working on the brooder. And she came right over, and boy, it was the cutest little curious face. And I only had 2 of the walls up, so her head's over in it like, oh,
don't
this is
them.
great. But every time she'd go to that side, the birds would go over here, and then she'd go, just like you'd see in a classic cartoon. Hercules, on the other hand, stick around. I'm hopeful that in our next video, depending on how hot it is and what time of day and all that good stuff, I'd like to bring him up and see if he just goes bananas. He will be on a lead. Just come back and watch that video. It's going to be fun getting him acclimated.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, we love and appreciate each and every one of you, and we are so excited to be growing our little farm family.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. I love learning new things, and so far, all of our animals are alive.
And happy.
And happy.
I think our animals are very happy.
Well, we got to take care of the binary first. Got to keep them alive. And then
That's true.
happy is just a bonus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But we're enjoying it, guys, and all of your comments, all of your suggestions and experiences that you have, thank you. Keep them coming, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
I have to clean that guy later tonight. These turkeys are a messy bunch, man. I know the Keats. Look. I'm gonna get you, fly. We should have got birds a long time ago.